Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to the Accelerated Health TV and radio show. I'm your host, Sara Banta. I'm a wife, a busy mom of 3, and the founder of the cutting edge and award-winning supplement brand Accelerated Health Products. This podcast is more than just a source of information. It's for you. It's a community for those looking to optimize their health. And I release new episodes every Monday and Tuesday live and a bonus one on Thursdays. So remember to subscribe and add to your playlist so you never miss a show. And join my free health group coaching on Telegram. It's an extension of what we're talking about today. There's no downside. The details can be found on my website, sarabantahealth.com. My goal, I need your help, is to reach everyone who needs my message of healing. So help me with this goal. Share this podcast with a few of your loved ones and friends, and together we can empower each other on our journey to optimal health. Thyroid health. My goodness. I feel like everybody has thyroid issues. Do you have unexplained weight gain? Is your hair falling out? Are your eyebrows thinning? These are just some of the signs. And over the past 3 years, there's been a noticeable increase in the people experiencing thyroid issues. But people go to the doctor, they test their TSH, one little number that's not even a thyroid hormone. And the doctor says, oh, you're fine. You're in normal range. Well, number one, when we're talking about blood tests, normal range is based off of the normal population that is eating standard American diet, that has fatty liver, that typically has some sort of metabolic disease. So do you really want to be normal, or do you want to be optimal? Thyroid impacts every cell in the body. It's crucial for growth and development, for childhood growth, brain development, for your basal metabolic rate. So how many calories are you burning at rest? That influences weight and energy. How's your heart rate and blood pressure? Thyroid hormones help control both heart rate and blood pressure. They control your body temperature. That's why when you want to know if your thyroid's really working, instead of doing a blood test, go back to those mercury thermometers and test your temperature. Your temperature should be 98.6. Most people don't have that. It's also, thyroid hormones are important for maintaining strong muscles and bones, brain function, mood regulation. A lot of people who are on antidepressants actually have hypothyroidism. If they just got their thyroid fixed, they'd probably get off of their medication. Thyroid is really important for fertility and menstrual regularity. I've had clients, I've had daughters who have said to me, Mom, once I started the thyroid protocol, my pain went away. My periods have regulated. I'm happy. The PMS symptoms are gone. Menopausal signs and symptoms have improved. Also, cholesterol. Did you know most people are seeing a significant rise in their cholesterol over the last couple of years? And we can talk more about that. That is not just what we've experienced with the spike protein, but the spike protein's causing cholesterol to go up. But if your thyroid is suppressed, cholesterol will go up. An imbalance in thyroid hormone is either having too much or too little, can disrupt your every function. Why? Because the thyroid is the master endocrine gland. It affects your gonads, it affects your adrenals, it affects your brain, it affects everything. When my thyroid's working, I'm on fire. I feel amazing. My energy does not plummet. I had hypothyroidism. I wanted a nap every afternoon. I wanted a drink after that nap because I was trying to balance my energy and get it from outside sources because my thyroid wasn't giving it to me. And medication is often the initial approach, but food is medicine. And that's what we're going to talk about is, can you eat something to help your thyroid? Food can either make you worse or make you better. And food is medicine, right? You've got to look at food as medicine. Supplements are supplements. There's to supplement your diet. And some of the foods that you're eating are probably not helping your thyroid. And we can also talk about the toxins that we're being exposed to, how that's suppressing thyroid function. So, what are the symptoms to look out for? And I always love it when people say, Sarah, my blood test is showing this number's out of range and da da da. And I say, well, how do you feel? They say, I feel great. Or my doctor says I'm normal, everything's in normal range, but I can't get out of bed. I can't have energy to live life. I don't have the energy to work out. I limit what I'm going to eat because I keep gaining weight, but then I binge because I'm so hungry. Is that you? I mean, if you have a low thyroid, a lot of people will say, well, I'm not going to eat because I have no metabolism and I don't want to gain any weight. But then your brain is starving for energy. It's starving for that ATP. That is true cellular energy. And you're not getting it from your food and your thyroid isn't working. So then you end up binging because you're so hungry, right? So what are the symptoms to look out for? Fatigue. You're tired all the time, unexplained weight gain, feeling cold even in warm temperatures, and the unexplained weight gain. Do you feel like if you even look at a brownie, you're going to gain weight and your friends can eat 3? There you go. Dry skin, hair, nails. A lot of people, a lot of women are coming to me saying that their hair is falling out. Now, that's a lot of things. But the number one cause for hair loss is thyroid issues, right? And the thyroid is being affected by the spike protein. And the spike protein, when I talk about the spike protein, it's essentially talking about what's gone on over the last 3 years. I have a full article explaining it on the website, SaraBantaHealth.com. So check it out if you're like, I don't understand what the spike protein is. And I'll tell you a little bit more in a minute. But that is causing a lot of these symptoms, but it's also a double whammy because it's impacting your thyroid health and your liver health. And that is going to cause all of these symptoms to be worse. Brittle hair, muscle weakness, aches, stiffness, joint pain, stiffness, heavy or irregular menstrual periods. In my own home, my daughter, her pain during PMS or when her period would come was like a 4. I don't feel good, mom. Give me an Advil. And she'd go off to school. And then it became, mom, hit me, help me pass out. I can't deal with this pain anymore. Sweating, vomiting, wouldn't go to school, wouldn't go to practice. She was in so much pain. And it was worse than child labor is what I was experiencing and looking at her going, oh my gosh, labor is going to be easy for her. But we corrected it through supplements. But that can thyroid issues can cause these heavy or irregular menstrual periods, signs and the pain, the PMS symptoms to be worse. You also, like I mentioned, depression or mood disorders, slow heart rate. And it's the opposite. If you have hyperthyroidism, your heart rate is fast. Constipation. Why would you be constipated? Well, everything in your body is moving slow, including the gut motility, your digestion slow. Your brain is working in a slow way, right? Everything is slow. Trouble concentrating and memory issues. Now, symptoms of hyperthyroidism, unexplained weight loss, increased heart palpitations or heart rate, feeling hot even when you're in cold, sweating, tremors, anxiety and irritability, trouble sleeping, diarrhea, frequent urination, muscle weakness, your skin's thinning, hair loss again. So your thyroid, high or low, is going to cause issues with your hair. Why? Because your body doesn't care about your hair. It's for vanity, right? It wants to survive and take care of the organs. So the hair is the first thing to go. Irregular menstrual cycles and even vision issues. And I talk more about symptoms of poor thyroid function on the website as well. So what do you need for your thyroid? Number one is the iodine. And we've talked about that. It is necessary and it is not in our diet. So that's why I'm bringing this up before we talk about the foods, because you have T4, T3, and T2. That means tyrosine, 3, 4, and 2 molecules of iodine. If you don't have iodine in your body, then you can't make those thyroid hormones. So it's a critical building block for those hormones. And with today's degraded food supply and the iodine disruptors, we are not getting enough iodine. As our bodies don't make iodine, you have to get it through supplementation, unfortunately. The diet does not provide it. So when you're looking at what food to eat, it is important. It is the cornerstone, right? Not just for thyroid conditions, but all issues. It is a tool you can use to fuel your body or to steal the energy away. And if you don't know where to start, make sure you're joining my free health group coaching on Telegram. It is a game changer. It pushes you to learn on a daily basis and keep moving forward. But when I also talk about the different foods to focus on in my accelerated food guide, and that is on the website as well. So make sure you check that out. So protein is essential for everything, right? Maintaining that healthy metabolism for multiple reasons. It serves as the foundation building block for muscles, tissues, organs, hair, nails, and the integrity of your structure of the whole body. And protein can also help with fat burning through this process known as the thermic effect of food. What does that mean? It means that it increases the caloric expenditure that occurs during digestion and metabolism of nutrients. So protein has a thermic effect of 25%, which means that 25% of the calories that you eat in protein will be burned through this heat generating process. Carbs, alcohol, fat, not so much, maybe 5%. So it's a pretty big deal. And protein provides the essential amino acid building blocks necessary for the growth and maintenance of your lean, strong muscles, your hair, your tissues, your skin, so it doesn't get wrinkly and old. And it helps with increasing that ATP. Muscle tissues contain dense concentrations of mitochondria and ATP, the cellular powerhouses that are responsible for energy. So to get that energy, you gotta have ATP and healthy mitochondria. We should be talking about the mitochondrial diet or the ATP diet, not the paleo or vegan or carnivore diet. We should be talking about the mitochondrial diet. Simply having lean muscle mass can inherently boost metabolism and fat burning, and it in turn helps with your thyroid health. So not all proteins are equal. And you could be eating proteins. And I had someone today say, Sara, I've been on a low carb diet. I eat a high protein diet and I'm gaining weight. What's going on? Well, what proteins are you eating? Right? So number one, I love the perfect aminos. This is a supplement. Remember, a supplement supplements a diet. So this is not necessarily a food, but it is the pure essential amino acids in the precise ratio necessary for building new proteins in the body. It gets 99% utilization by the body, and each serving is the equivalent of 30 grams of whey protein, but it only has 2 calories. So you literally can lean bulk. So you can get that muscle tissue to increase without gaining fat, which a lot of people say you can't gain muscle without fat, but you can actually with the help of the perfect aminos. Now, does it have any other nutrients in it? No. That is why it's a supplement. It is not a food. But the main food that you want to focus on are the wild animal proteins. Why? Because these offer about 32% of usable amino acids, right? No protein offers 99% like a supplement, like a perfect aminos, but it has the essential B vitamins, the iron, magnesium, potassium, other nutrients that are vital for protein synthesis and overall health, which is needed for thyroid health. And during that digestion, you get the 25% of calories are going to be burned through that thermic effect. The balance of the amino acids. This is really important. When you take in amino acids and they're not in the right ratios that your body's going to use, guess what? A lot of it's going to be stored as fat or wasted because it's like a bicycle. You need one handlebar, 2 wheels, and 1 seat. What if I gave you 3 seats, 1 wheel, and 4 handlebars? You have no bike. You have all of these wasted parts that can't be used. That gets stored as fat. So that's what the issue is with vegan proteins, because they're not complete proteins. And this is what happens. This is why when you're on a vegan diet, you tend to be hypothyroid. You tend to be anemic. Your hair starts falling out. You actually start getting insulin resistance because you have to eat a lot of carbs to get in enough protein. That's the issue. Okay. So the balance of the amino acids and the omega-3 fatty acids in these wild animal proteins. And yes, omega-3 fatty acids are in these animal proteins like bison and elk and deer. It's not just in fish. Now, if you're eating conventionally raised beef or chicken or some other meat that is conventionally raised, you're going to get omega-6s that are higher than the omega-3s. So these nutrients, the amino acids, omega-3 fatty acids, they stimulate the release of a hormone called CCK, which curbs your sugar cravings and suppresses your appetite. Your brain says, oh, I just had enough nutrients. I'm going to shut down my appetite and I'm good. I got all the amino acids I needed. I got the vitamin B, the iron, the magnesium. Now, what happens when you eat Ben & Jerry's? Your brain says, oh, that sugar's great. I want more. I want more. I want more. That's why you can eat like 3 pints of it, but you can't eat 3 ribeye steaks. There's a difference because your brain is communicating with your gut. And so these meats, bison, elk, deer, lamb, Cornish game hen, wild cold water fish, I list all of this in the accelerated food guide. So what are the proteins that aren't so good? Well, I touched on a little bit, but number one, you've got those vegan proteins, but you also have these protein shakes. Everyone's like, well, I'm getting my G's in. We call them our G's, our grams of protein in the household from our protein shakes, right? I'm not against protein shakes, but these proteins like whey, pea, and soy, they only utilize about 18% of their essential amino acids for protein synthesis, and the remaining 82 convert into sugar. Additionally, they might lead to health issues like inflammation, increasing estrogen level, leaky gut, high histamine reactions, or allergies, depending on the powder consumed. So whey is dairy. Dairy is one of the top 7 allergies. So a lot of you can't do dairy. Pea protein, full of mold. Mold activates oxalates. We're going to get into the oxalates and sulfur in a minute, which worsens sulfur detoxification and increases amyloids. And we're going to talk about those in a minute. It's like this domino effect, and it will slow down your metabolism and your thyroid. Because what do oxalates do? Oxalates are like little toothpicks, and they get stuck into our tissues. They love our urogenital areas. They love our joints, causing arthritis. They love our brain, causing brain fog, but they love the thyroid, and they slow down the thyroid. Oxalates are directly related to hypothyroidism. And so this is something else to think about. Now, you've got high histamine reactions that are out of control because of the spike protein over the last 4 years. So even if you didn't have histamine issues before, you might now. And so you might have foods that you could eat before and now you can't. So that's something to think about. But soy in particular is concerning because it has estrogenic properties and the GMOs that are in them. And that can contribute to estrogen dominance and toxicity. And all of this is going to cause an imbalance of hormones, weight gain, low thyroid, and backing up your liver. You got to love your liver. Your liver is where you process all of these toxins. And if your liver is backed up, which most of you have a backed up liver, 45% of adults have fatty liver disease. 25% of our children have fatty liver disease, which used to be only a disease for alcoholics. This becomes an issue, and the body doesn't know what to do with these toxins. What does it do? It needs to survive. It encapsulates toxins and puts them into your fat cells, grows fat cells, makes new fat cells to store all of these toxins. So you want to be careful with what kind of protein you're taking in. The chicken, conventionally raised beef, turkey, pork, these meats have high levels of omega-6 inflammatory fats, including linoleic acid and the amyloid proteins, which are associated with diseases, autoimmune issues, Alzheimer's, dementia, which are going through the roof right now. But these amyloid proteins, let's take away the fact that they're causing gut pathogens to take over and wreaking havoc on the oxalate and sulfur metabolism issues. Let's just take that out of the mix here. You eat your skinny piece of chicken and it's full of the omega-6 inflammatory fats that your cells don't know what to do with, but you can't even break down these misfolded amyloid proteins into amino acids to build your muscle and grow your hair back, right? So these proteins aren't even doing what they're supposed to do versus the wild animal proteins. And it's not the chicken's fault. It's that they've been raised in crowded conditions. They're stressed out. How would you feel if you're stressed? You tighten up, right? The proteins literally tighten up and cannot be broken down. So they get accumulated and stored in tissues and organs, even in the brain. And it's a big problem. So you want to get rid of the dirty bird and the other poultry in your diet. Farm-raised fish. They're genetically modified or fed genetically modified food, corn and soy. Fish are not meant to eat corn and soy, but that's what they're being fed. And so their food is causing their tissues to become filled with inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids and linoleic acid. So then that's going to compromise your mitochondrial health and your overall metabolism. So that's the proteins. You got to focus on the wild animal proteins. Perfect Aminos is a great way to supplement if you don't get in enough protein. But now let's look at fat. Well, fat's great, right? Ketogenic diets, not so much. So keto diets have gained significant popularity, but the problem is our livers are backed up. Guess where you metabolize fat? In your liver. So if you are having nausea when you eat too much fat, or you feel like you're gaining weight on fat, your body's not processing fat. That's a problem. So you actually want to, these fats, now there's healthy fats and not so healthy fats, right? So there's long-term consequences to consider. And as the metabolism may slow down, the thyroid hormones levels could be suppressed. The liver becomes overwhelmed by the toxins, radiation, and the spike protein, and then you can't metabolize the fat. So that's why the liver flushes are so important to be doing on a regular basis to cleanse out that liver so it can now metabolize fat and protein much more efficiently. When your body enters into a ketogenic state, and I love being in keto, it gives your brain energy, it suppresses appetite, it gives you energy, but there's a way to get there without eating a high-fat diet. But choosing healthy fats, it's crucial. You need it for your brain, you need it for your tissues, you need it for your cell membrane. You want to focus on fats like butter, ghee, organic cold-pressed olive oil, and even avocado oil. But it's important to be cautious because not all olive oil and avocado oil are clean. Unfortunately, over 60% of olive oil and avocado oil on the market are mixed with inexpensive seed oils like canola oil. Fats that lower your thyroid health, right? So here we're thinking that polyunsaturated fats are super healthy for you. No, they're found abundantly in processed foods, imitation butter, salad dressings, fried foods, poultry, pork, nuts, and seeds. I thought nuts and seeds were healthy for you. Well, not too much. Seed oils, fatty fish, those all could be causing too much fat burden in your body. You're not processing it, slows your metabolism, and wreaks havoc on your thyroid health. So these fats include safflower, grapeseed, sunflower, corn, cottonseed, soybean, rice bran, peanut, and canola oil. And they have linoleic acid, which is particularly detrimental. And what is so wrong with these PUFAs? They have multiple double bonds in their carbon chains. So that means that they are unstable and they hinder the energy production, elevate energy requirements for the body, and they hurt the energy utilization in the body. And because they're so fragile, they transform into inflammatory compounds and are highly susceptible to damage, especially when you're talking about processed foods and even fried foods. They lead to mitochondrial dysfunction. They affect the electron transport chain that's crucial for the ATP production. They inhibit fatty acid beta oxidation, so you're fat burning. So your body can't use fat for fuel. So you're taking in food, your body can't use it, right? So the whole part of taking in food is to be converted into energy. And that's not happening. You've got this gap between food and fuel and energy. And that gap, the goal is to close it. When you close it, and your thyroid's working, all of your metabolisms are working, fat oxidation's working, burning carbs is working. That's where you want to get to. So these fats, not only are they bad for you when you eat them, but they stay in your body for over 6 years. So they're doing more damage than sugar. Sugar's in and out of your body for a day, and it can become a problem. So linoleic acid, it's also in foods that are considered healthy, like the chicken, pork, seeds, and nuts. What's interesting is animals like bison and even cows, lamb, deer, and elk, they have multiple stomachs that house bacteria that convert the high linoleic acid fat into healthier saturated fat and monosaturated fat. The chickens don't. They have one stomach like we do. So they cannot convert this high linoleic acid into that saturated fat like the other animals can. So that's the fats. Carbohydrates, they're not bad for you guys, but you got to eat the right ones. They've faced criticism in the recent years, be on a low carb diet, be on a ketogenic diet, carnivore diet. It's true, excessive consumption of certain carbs can lead to inflammation, leaky gut, and fat, but choosing the right sources can help. And they can actually help your stress hormones, increase fat burning, and support your energy. Now, when you are insulin resistant and you have heart disease, or you have fatty liver, or you have PCOS or Alzheimer's, which are all symptoms of insulin resistance, taking the carbs out of the diet, it takes the foot off the gas pedal. So it eases up the pressure where the body says, okay, I don't have to produce more insulin. Let's get our bearings. Let's figure out where we are. Let's try to regulate our system. But you stay on a low carb diet for too long, you're going to slow down your thyroid. You're going to lower your T3. You're going to lower your body's ability to burn energy. You're going to lower your ATP. Your body's smart. If it's not getting the fuel, it's going to lower its metabolic rate. It's going to increase its stress hormones, like reverse T3. And that is going to cause you to store more fat and lower your thyroid health. So when you're looking at carbs, you got to look at the right carbs. And some of the toxins that have no calories, the radiation, heavy metals, fluoride, chlorine, bromide, all of those suppress your thyroid health, increase fat storage, and cause weight gain. Okay, so those things don't have calories. We need to get rid of those things in your diet for your thyroid, because all of these heavy metals can go into your thyroid, and fluoride and chlorine and bromide can cause your thyroid to slow down as well. So it's not just all about the carbs. The carbs from organic cooked vegetables without the sulfur, oxalate, histamines, or mold. Remember, I go through that in my accelerated food guide. They can supply the fiber essential for a healthy gut microbiome without disrupting your detoxification pathways. Organic fruits offer simple carbs that don't promote that endotoxin growth while providing sufficient energy. Endotoxins, you don't want those. Those slow down your metabolism, your mitochondrial health. And so I love the fruits like frozen cherries, papaya. Let's see, there's watermelon. We're in summer months. The watermelon's amazing. You want to look at the fruits that are on the guide, but that are lower sugar, but don't cause any issues. And some of these fruits actually provide some good nutrients for your hormones. I love the squashes like spaghetti squash, butternut squash, zucchini. Those might have some lectins in them, but most people are fine with them. Lectins from grains and beans, those are the worst offenders. Those are also super high in a lot of carbs, and you end up eating a lot of calories when you're eating those. So initially adopting a lower carb diet coupled with supplements and intermittent fasting, like the accelerated keto, the accelerated iodine, the accelerated thyroid, we'll get into those in a minute. That can increase your ATP, increase your thyroid health, your metabolism, facilitate the gut healing, but then you want to gradually increase the carb intake as the metabolism improves. Fat storing carbs, processed foods, if it's got a label on it, it's processed. Our food system has been hijacked. Carbs found in processed foods, they undergo refinement. They're often laden with the GMOs and glyphosate paired with the seed oils and artificial sweeteners and all of these other things that don't have calories. But what does our body do with those ingredients? Stores them in our fat cells, and it slows down your metabolism and your thyroid health. The disruption in your gut, you're going to have malabsorption of the nutrients that you are taking in. You're going to have this proliferation of bacteria, and that's going to release these LPS. LPS is known as endotoxin. It impairs mitochondrial function, creates a cycle of metabolic dysfunction and fat gain. And what's more is that these healthy complex carbs can exacerbate the health issues by increasing endotoxin concentration in the body. Now, when your gut's healthy, can you eat these complex carbs? Yes. So it's what your current state of health is. Sulfur foods. So the sulfur foods are in those healthy low carb vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, kale, and in your medications, glutathione, NAC, MSM. That is backing up our liver and backing up our sulfur detoxification pathways. They can cause Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, arthritis, mental health issues, and some signs of impaired sulfur metabolism: hypothyroidism, bloating, gas, nutrient malabsorption, reaction to red wine, white wine, garlic, or eggs, asthma. Your urine might smell, joint pain, arthritis, Parkinson's disease, just ADHD, skin rashes, a lot of things. And the spike protein has made things even worse, right? So that's going to cause more challenges for our thyroid. The oxalates, this is in foods like kale, once again, spinach, peanuts, let's see, almonds, Swiss chard, beets, chocolate, berries even. Now, can you eat oxalates in a small amount when your gut's healthy? Yes. But these things are going to make things worse. Like I mentioned before, oxalates love the thyroid. They're going to slow down the thyroid. And some symptoms are thyroid disorders, Hashimoto's, hypothyroidism, pain in your connective tissue, gout, arthritis, swelling, immune system issues, digestive issues, urogenital issues, UTIs. Do you get UTIs often? It might be because of oxalates. So that's the other problem with oxalates, is they steal your nutrients. They bind to iron, magnesium, calcium. So you might be taking some supplements for these minerals and it's not working because these oxalates are attaching themselves to it. So those are the foods. Now remember, make sure you check out the food guide, because that will help give you a checklist of the foods that you can eat. And there's plenty of them. There's some great foods on there. And I have definitely seen a change in my health within just a day of changing these foods. I have seen the swelling in my body decrease, the water inflammation just go away. And we in our house eat this way. My kids are fine with it, and we all feel a lot better because of it. Okay, so yes, we need supplements because our soils are depleted, right? So the top supplements, number one is the acceleradine iodine. We are in a country where 96% of people are iodine deficient, and that statistic is almost 20 years old. So the rate is probably even higher. Acceleradine iodine is the only iodine supplement that has I minus. Let's go back to chemistry class. I minus is what fits in all 100 trillion cells of the body. So it has easy absorption, right? Most iodine supplements are diatomic, meaning they're attached to another molecule. And that molecule, the body has to break apart to use the iodine. Now, remember, your body is really weak because you have hypothyroidism and you don't have a lot of ATP and energy. It's going to have a hard time using that energy to break apart to get that I minus from the supplement. In the cell membrane, you've got iodolipid values for that cell membrane. Iodolipid, iodine, fat. So you need the right fats for your cell membrane, and you need iodine for that cell membrane to get the nutrients into the cell and also the toxins out of the cells. Because remember, part of our diet that is causing thyroid issues is the radiation, the heavy metals, and all of these toxins. So that's part of our diet we got to get rid of. That's the diet you want to be on, where you're getting rid of these things. So you need iodine for the cell membrane. You need iodine in the cell to create ATP to go from 2 to 36. That is 18 times. Imagine just the energy at the cellular level that you will get just by doing that. And then what does iodine do outside the cell? It devitalizes foreign pathogens like viruses, bacteria, parasites, fungus, and it cleanses the blood so the liver can do its job. It kicks out the toxins that if you have receptor sites for thyroid hormone on the cells that are, and you don't have iodine there, guess what's going to fill it? Fluoride, bromine, or bromide, and chlorine. Things that you don't want in that cell membrane, but they all look the same. They're all in the halogen column on the periodic table. So you need extra iodine to kick those toxins out and start detoxing the cells. So the iodine helps detoxify cells of all of the metals, the toxins, radiation. It displaces the fluoride, chlorine, and bromide. And those are all linked to hypothyroidism. That is why it's so important. And it supports the cleansing of the blood to let the liver do its job. The second supplement is the accelerated thyroid. And this is the most comprehensive natural thyroid supplement. It helps restore thyroid function. It combines grass-fed thyroid glandular, providing the peptides, amino acids, and nutrients essential for the thyroid. And it has an ancient Ayurvedic herb called conchanar, which I've been using for years, known to detoxify the thyroid and also help with amino acids necessary for thyroid optimization. We enhance the accelerated thyroid with scalar frequencies that are meant to clear emotional and physical shock from the body, improve overall thyroid health, detox the halogens, heavy metals, and radiation, balance the thyroid and the parathyroid. And it also is known to help prevent fatty liver, accelerate wound healing, strengthen connective tissues, and promote B12 production. Now, those are the most important. If you want extra fat burning, you can throw in the thyroid fixer. Thyroid fixer is a supplement to the supplements. It is not the main one. If you're sitting there going, well, I just want fat burning, you want to still do the acceleradine and the accelerated thyroid first, because you want to help with the foundation of your thyroid health before you go after that T2 that's in the thyroid fixer that complements the fat burning ingredients to boost the mitochondrial health. And this is supplementing what's in the acceleradine iodine and the accelerated thyroid. Now, we talked about keto and keto diets and all of that. And I mentioned, well, you don't have to be on a high fat diet to be in ketosis. What you can do is use accelerated keto to kick you into ketosis, suppress your cravings for carbs, ride that out, intermittent fast. Now, remember, you want to vary your fasting periods so your body's guessing and you're not going to be stuck in this wheel of fasting all day, every day, and then your thyroid slows down, your metabolism slows down. The accelerated keto is going to boost the ingredients in it, help boost fat burning, increase metabolism by boosting the ATP production in the mitochondria. It also gently cleanses the liver every day. So you're actually going to go after that fatty liver. You're also going to cleanse it out so that you can help your liver do its job. The liver is also where T4, the inactive thyroid hormone, converts to T3. So by keeping the liver clean, you're going to help with that conversion. And when your body is fueled just by glucose, the calories are restricted, it's going to enter survival mode, right? So in that state, T4 is converted into reverse T3, which you don't want, and it's going to slow down your metabolism and increase the fat storage. So those are the supplements. Remember, you want to focus on the foods, but you're not going to be getting your iodine from the food. You want to eliminate the foods, the lectins, the worst offending lectins, the sulfur, the oxalates, the mold, and the amyloids. You want to focus on that wild animal protein that provides the amino acids and the nutrients that our bodies need. Like feeds like. So the deep color of that bison is going to feed your muscle tissues better than that white stripped of nutrients chicken. And that stripped nutrient chicken is going to cause inflammation in your body, even if it has less calories than the bison. So it's not all about calories, guys. Remember, you want to focus also on that wild animal protein because it's going to help with that thermic effect. It's boosting your ATP. We want to focus on that ATP and the mitochondrial health. You can also use the Hiwi. This is a new device. It is the cheapest, most powerful device that I've come across. Bang for your buck with money. But it has over 60,000 programs. Now, if it's the heavy metals that are slowing down your thyroid, it has a heavy metal detox program. If you just have hypothyroidism, it's got multiple programs for hypothyroidism. If you have Hashimoto's, it has programs for that. If you need to detox from, I don't know, radiation, EMFs, it's got programs for that. What is causing your thyroid to slow down? Is it your stress? Is it your cortisol? It's got programs for that. Is your low thyroid causing your hot flashes to be bad? It's got a lot of programs for that. It has programs for muscle building, for hair growth, for gut inflammation, for PMS symptoms, constipation. Actually, I had a client the other day say, Sarah, I just wanted to test to see if this device works. She just got it. And she said, I don't really have issues with constipation, but I did a constipation program and wow, the bowel movement I had the next morning was amazing compared to her others. So she's like, this thing works. And she was super excited to dive into all the programs. So the Hiwi is on my website. It's my new favorite toy. You can work out with it, walk with it, work with it, sleep with it. You can wear it all you want. And it's got programs also to help go after, boost the immune system and devitalize foreign pathogens. So it is a frequency-based device. And what does that mean? It has frequencies that tells your body the signals to start doing something. Over 60,000 programs. So make sure you check that out as well. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for tuning in today. If you need my help with your concerns and you don't know where to start, you're overwhelmed, reach out to me at SaraBantaHealth.com. Happy to put together a protocol for you and join my free group coaching on Telegram. Ask your questions and I will be posting daily videos and articles and things that will help you to understand what's going on in your body and to take back control. You don't need to go to the doctor to get your answers. I'm not saying don't go to the doctor. I'm just saying most of your answers are within you and you are your best doctor. There's more information on my website, sarabantahealth.com. Don't forget to follow me on social media at Accelerated Health Products. And you can catch this podcast on over 100 platforms, including Spotify, iTunes, and iHeartRadio. Just search Accelerated Health TV and radio show. I'm on a mission to share my healing message with everyone who's ready to listen and not those that aren't. So please help me with that goal. Share this podcast with a few of your friends who might benefit. Remember, I'm live every Monday and Tuesday, and use coupon WELCOME10 to get 10% off your first order. Thanks again for joining us here, and have a great week.